Boom, Commanders! We've got news that's going to shake everything you thought you knew about this franchise. A center that's being underestimated by the entire league. A rookie cornerback who could snag the job from million-dollar veterans. An explosive receiver. The scouts let fall to the 4th round, and now everyone is talking about a safety who got the most brutal wake-up call of his career, and now promises to be a beast, and the bombshell nobody wants to hear, but is about to explode. Our number 1 star might be packing bags. If you're a Washington fan, you need to stick around until the end, because what I'm about to reveal will change your perspective on this season. Like this video right now and subscribe, because you won't find this information anywhere else. Listen, I'm going to tell you something that many don't want to admit. Tyler Biadasz is being criminally underrated in this league. Pro Football Focus just ranked all starting centers in the NFL and put our man at number 15. Number 15? Really? I believe these analysts didn't watch the same games we did. This guy came over from Dallas, and the first thing he did was establish an immediate connection with Jayden Daniels. In the first 9 games of last season, Biadasz had the 2nd best pass blocking grade among all centers. The 2nd best in the league. Now I ask you, how many centers can say they protected a rookie quarterback well enough to lead him to the playoffs? Because that's exactly what Biadasz did. Yes, he had some issues with injuries and illness toward the end of the season, but he still maintained solid numbers in both run blocking and pass blocking. The chemistry between him and Daniels is something special. I'm telling you this, without that connection, Jayden's rookie season wouldn't have been half as successful. Biadasz read the defenses, made the correct adjustments on the line, and gave our quarterback the necessary time to develop his plays. Number 15? Please. I believe that by the end of this upcoming season, they'll have to rewrite those rankings, because Tyler Biadasz is going to prove he deserves to be in the top 10, easily. Now let's talk about a rookie who's got everyone in Washington excited, Trey Amos. This rookie cornerback isn't just impressing in practice. Some experts are already saying he could win a starting spot for Week 1. I'll tell you something. This isn't a coincidence. Matt Holder from Bleacher Report saw what we're seeing. Sure, we have Marshon Lattimore, Quan Martin, Mike Sainristil, Noah Igbinoghene, and Jonathan Jones on the depth chart, but Amos is showing something different. Why? Because the cornerback position was a real problem for us last year. That's why we had to trade mid-season for Lattimore. We need a starting cornerback opposite Lattimore who allows Sainristil to move back inside where he's more effective. Jonathan Jones can fill that role, but let's be real, the guy is 31 years old, coming off a disappointing season, and will turn 32 in September. Are we really going to stake our playoff hopes on a declining veteran? Now I ask you, wouldn't it be better to give the opportunity to the hungry rookie who has everything to prove? Because that's exactly what Amos represents. Adam Peters already mentioned that they see him as a complete cornerback, but mainly as a perimeter defender. In practices against Deebo Samuel, Amos showed that his physique allows him to be aggressive at the line of scrimmage against big receivers. He's still months away from being fully ready, but the progress he's showing is undeniable. I believe that if Amos continues on this trajectory, he's not only going to win a starting spot, but he'll also be one of the biggest defensive surprises in the entire NFL. Commanders, brace yourselves because I'm going to tell you about what could be the draft steal, Jaylen Lane. This receiver from Virginia Tech was projected as a 2nd-round pick by many analysts, but we snagged him in the 4th round with pick 128. How is it possible that 31 teams passed on this opportunity? I'm telling you this, Alex Ballantyne from Bleacher Report already jumped on the hype train, and he's absolutely right. Lane not only has the talent, but he also has the perfect opportunity to explode immediately. Yes, we have Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel as our starting duo, which could be one of the best in the league if everything aligns correctly. But after them, what do we have? Noah Brown is a pretty specific receiver as the 3rd option. Luke McCaffrey needs more involvement, and Michael Gallup decided to come out of retirement, which adds another interesting dynamic. But none of these options have the explosiveness and elusiveness of Lane. Cliff Kingsbury would be foolish not to involve him more if his confidence continues growing over the summer. Now I ask you, isn't it exactly these kinds of situations where stars are born? Lane was ignored until the Commanders ended his dramatic fall in the draft. He's been using that extra motivation to his advantage so far, I believe Lane is going to make the most of his role as a kick returner to show his value, but his real impact will come as an integral part of the offense. He's a pure runner who has the potential to become that versatile weapon most teams won't see coming. If this same trend continues, this versatile weapon could be the surprise that most teams don't expect. Now, I'm going to tell you a story of resilience that'll give you chills. Quan Martin not only became one of our most important defenders, but did so playing with 2 dislocated shoulders all last season. Can you imagine the pain he must have felt with every tackle, every cover? But here's the part that truly impresses me. Joe Witt Jr., our defensive coordinator, revealed exactly what awakened the monster within Martin. When standards were dropping, and Martin was making mistakes early. In the campaign, Witt did something risky. He sent him to work with the second team. I'm telling you, that was a chess masterstroke. It gave Martin exactly the wake-up call he needed to refocus and minimize complications moving forward. The results spoke for themselves. Martin was a revelation almost from start to finish last season. Witt believes in him. Quinn also expects another step forward. And now that he's fully healthy, expectations are sky high. Witt was very clear. He believes Martin can be one of the best safeties in the league, and he's treating him as such every day. Now I ask you, what happens when a player who already proved special while injured has a fully healthy season? I believe we'll see a version of Quan Martin that even we haven't imagined, especially after we let Jeremy Chin go to Las Vegas in free agency. Martin has flown under the league's radar, despite showing encouraging growth. But that's not going to last much longer if Witt's bold projection becomes reality. Martin knows expectations are higher for him and the Commanders this upcoming season. He's avoiding complacency and working tirelessly to polish his talent enough to increase his hopes for a real breakout season in 2025. And now we come to the news that will break every Washington fan's heart. Terry McLaurin might be on his way out. According to Jordan Schultz, our all-pro receiver has made it very clear that he's frustrated with the lack of progress in long-term contract negotiations. This is not a game, Commanders. McLaurin unexpectedly left voluntary workouts after initially attending, and it's unclear if he plans to report for the mandatory minicamp. With minimal talks, and McLaurin entering the final year of his contract, trade rumors might start heating up. I'm going to tell you something painful but true. McLaurin, at 29 years old, remains one of the most consistent receivers in the entire league despite Washington's past quarterback issues. During his 6-year career, he's recorded at least 1,000 receiving yards every year, except his rookie season. This man has totaled 6,379 yards and 38 touchdowns since Washington drafted him in 2019. He's known for his precise routes and his ability to beat top cornerbacks, and has continued producing WR1 numbers even without an elite quarterback for most of his career. Now I ask you, how is it possible the organization hasn't been able to reach an agreement with a player of this caliber? Teams that could be interested include the Las Vegas Raiders, who need a true WR1 and have the cap space to secure McLaurin long-term. The Los Angeles Chargers also make sense, as although they have Ladd McConkey, he profiles more as a slot receiver. McLaurin would give Justin Herbert a true X-receiver on the outside. The New England Patriots could join as well. Even after signing Stephon Diggs in free agency, who's coming off an ACL injury and is entering the later stages of his career, McLaurin would immediately become WR1 for Drake May. I believe this situation is more serious than the organization wants to admit. McLaurin's frustration and Washington's lack of progress on a new contract could trigger more trade rumors soon. His consistent production and versatility make him a prime target for teams needing receivers if Washington decides to move him. Since McLaurin is entering the last year of his contract and would likely require an extension, a trade could cost a team around a third-round pick. Commanders, I'm telling you this with all my heart. Losing Terry McLaurin would be a catastrophic mistake that could haunt us for years. Look, after everything we've just analyzed, I need to ask you these direct questions. Do you think Tyler Biadasz deserves to be higher in those center rankings? Does Trey Amos really have what it takes to earn a starting spot as a rookie? Will Jaylen Lane, Be the offensive surprise no one saw coming? Is Quan Martin finally going to break out and become the elite safety we all know he can be? And the most important question of all, are we really going to let Terry McLaurin leave Washington without fighting for him? I believe this season will define the future of this franchise for the next 5 years. The decisions they make now will determine whether we keep building on last year's success or take steps back. This is exactly why we need to keep this conversation alive. Subscribe to this channel because we are the only source that will give you the real, unfiltered analysis you need to hear. Leave your comments below with your opinions on each of these news items. Which one do you agree with the most? Which one worries you the most? This community is becoming a true family of fans who aren't afraid to speak the truth about our team. Join us by clicking subscribe and activating notifications, because the next few weeks will be filled with news that will change everything we think we know about the Washington Commanders. And remember, hail to the Redskins!